to be successful in any business, you have to know what you're good at. You have to have that core framework, that, that core suite of services that we've got these things nailed down. We're experts in these areas. But technology, it's constantly evolving. It never stands still. So it's always really tempting to say, hey, you know what? So-and-so seems to be making a lot of money over in that space. Maybe we should take a look at that. Mark, how do you either engage and embrace that temptation, or how do you avoid that temptation?
Flexible and fluid. You mentioned technology is constantly evolving, and where we somewhat see is most companies and their operating models are not. So inherently, those two things create some friction. And at the end of the day, our goal with our clients is to help them also become more flexible and fluid, which means in terms of how they do business, right? Take new ideas. They're not all going to work. They're not all going to stick. Those three business models, and how do you ultimately overcome commoditization? It's you're always evolving what you bring and the problems you solve. Now, how an MSP solves it, there'll be some net new, but at the end of the day, there's probably a lot of highly repeatable aspects to the business. We're just attaching it to, new problems that we can solve through our, big machine that ultimately clients are paying for. So, part of it is mental, but part of it is get a culture of experimenting with some things without having to overcommit and overinvest. It's a different way to look at portfolio strategy as well as building new service offerings, right? We can spend 8 months in the lab cooking it up, taking it to market, and if it falls flat, people get disappointed or upset. Flip it around a little bit, see if we can't uncover a new market or uncover a new problem to be solved with a little bit of, backing it up, by the way, and then go forward fast, or opt out and try something new.
Now, if you have that customer intimacy that we've talked about many times already, you really have a wealth of knowledge already in terms of your customers are telling you, look, we've got these problems or we're struggling in these areas. I would imagine if you have that information and you're able to look big picture, your customers are going to be guiding some of those decisions, right? And removing some of that risk. Your best customers will be the ones dictating, shaping, right? Where to add new things to the portfolio and probably where some things to end of life and that sort of thing, like a natural product or service offering life cycle. But you're correct. We're our market back point of view is jugular compared to the inward out, right? Now, it's a little bit of both is a healthy mix, but having that, like you said, that knowledge and the quote unquote intimacy of really what matters. That's when when you're talking at that level that you've broken through that odd little mysterious line of are we above the safety line where we have a good healthy relationship and dialogue with a broader set of executive decision makers and maybe buyers versus those that are below the line of safety where wonderful people, we're not going to ever ignore them, but there is every account has that dotted line somewhere, and we need to operate both, but getting above that line is ultimately how you de-risk, and I think that's your point. Where to go next to drive net new growth for that account, but maybe even for a whole, segment, if you will.